Our celebration of Black history and culture continues as we cover the historically Black neighborhoods here in Indianapolis. You certainly, when you're doing that, you got to include Riverside neighborhood. It's just northwest of downtown.
Felicia Lawrence takes us tonight to Riverside Park, which serves as the perfect example of a transforming neighborhood evolving through the years.
Riverside Park has been a pillar in the West Side neighborhood for more than a century.
It was really nice, and people boated and swam all up and down White River, all the way back up here past 30th Street. It was just the place to be in the summertime.
There was an early version of a local zoo. The park offered riverboat rides, and the amusement park had more than roller coasters and a Ferris wheel. It had dreams.
In the warm weather, this was the social gathering spot, but I need to caveat that with this is where the white community met. African Americans were not welcomed here.
For years, Riverside Amusement Park posted signs that read, "Patronage whites only solicited." And the Black community rejected that with protests in the 40s. Historian Leon Bates can remember the impact that had on his family.
My mom as a kid told a story about not being able to go into that amusement park except on the days when they had what they called the colored frolic days.
One day a year, Black people had access to the park, usually the last day of the season, and racist policies and segregation like this permeated Indiana.
I'm old enough to remember going into buildings in Indianapolis where there were still black and white restrooms. I can remember riding in the car with my parents and seeing signs along the highway that said Sundown Town.
Riverside Amusement Park was segregated until 1962. Though protests and pressure to change the racist policy were won, the amusement park eventually shut down in 1970. And by then, Riverside had become a victim of white flight.
That is how African Americans actually got into this. And that starts in the 1950s. Most people refer to it as white flight. Once it started, this is not the only neighborhood that happened to that white people moved out of en masse. I mean, just almost overnight.
Like many other neighborhoods across America, the disinvestment of resources can be felt. But people like Phyllis Hackett has always found pride in her community and relished in its richness.
I grew up at 15 years old, and my responsibility every summer was to register people to vote. And so I went door to door, have you registered to vote? Can I register you to vote? So that really started in my heart and was implanted in me as a teenager to look at the area that I'm at and encourage the people that are here to do things better and to have better opportunities and options.
And that spirit has also permeated Indiana. The Riverside Civic League successfully designated Riverside Park as a historic district and a cultural district, creating funding opportunities for this community that you can see today.
We're not the Central Park in New York, nor are we San Francisco's Golden Gate Park, but why not?
An amphitheater, a promenade, historical markers, a swimming pool, walking, biking, investment, and rebirth, all to bring this neighborhood into the future.
To bring back Riverside and to reimagine it is just a wonderful opportunity. I keep, trying to, just to be that voice out here in the wilderness, in the darkness that says there's light and there's space and there's opportunity and options for all of us to have whatever we want to have.